Knoblauch making a handful of rather significant changes, or at least is expected to be making a handful of pretty significant changes. If you kind of read the tea leaves, of course, Knoblauch not coming out to the media and saying much of anything, but usually the players who stay out late at morning skate, getting in extra work, those are the guys who are not playing in the game that night. So if you look into that, it's Sam Carrick, it's Warren Foegele, and it is Vincent Desharnais coming out of the lineup for the Edmonton Oilers. As you see in this tweet from Ryan McLeod, it is Ryan McLeod, Corey Perry, and Philip Broberg coming back into the lineup. Three guys who have all had absences from this Oilers lineup, ranging relatively different time spans, I think you could say. Corey Perry has not played since Game 5 against the Vancouver Canucks. He has not registered a point in 10 playoff games for the Edmonton Oilers. Philip Broberg has not appeared in the game since the regular season finale against the Colorado Avalanche, but he is riding a 2-game point streak. He picked up assists in the games against Arizona and Colorado, logged north of 16 minutes in each of those games as well. But Broberg has not played since April 18th. We are talking about north of 40 days since Philip Broberg has seen game action. Ryan McLeod, he was out of the lineup for one game, and it was last game, Game 3 against the Stars. So the Oilers are rolling back. Let's try to break this down kind of point by point here. Let's start with Broberg for Desharnais. Is this the right call? Is Desharnais the deserving defenseman to come out? Is sticking with 12 and 6 the right move? Or should you maybe have leaned towards the 11 and 7 approach?
I kind of like the 11 and 7 just because it's that flexibility and insurance. Like Vinny's played, obviously he's had some hiccups, but he's been solid. So I'm interested to see. Like you'll never know what his line of thinking was on the switch, but I guess like we're talking about, and as you can see with the changes minus Corey Perry adding speed and strong skating into this, maybe that's where we're seeing some issues. It's not that I can't wrap my head around in the sense of like I don't get why he's doing it. It's just I still can't understand it.
I think with Broberg, and those last 2 games gave me a bit more confidence in him. I know there were different circumstances. He's playing, what did you say, 16 minutes in both, north of 16 in both. Like, he's not going to do that tonight. But the skating really gives me some encouragement for what he's able to do. I think he's come into the lineup with a lot of confidence. I am not surprised it was Vinny. I think everyone would have thought CC would have been the guy, but also seems obvious why. Like, Vinny's skating is the reason why he's not in the lineup, but Cody CC is, because like it or not, CC's a better skater than Desharnais.
Yeah, he can move it around.
He can move it. So I'm interested now, though, what happens on the penalty kill, because obviously Vinny was a big part of that. The Oilers now only have 2 right-handed defensemen on there. So, like, do you put Ekholm out there a bit more? And then, you probably CC, Nurse, Kulak, Ekholm is probably the 4.
And like that's where Desharnais, like he's been part of a really good PK team. Yeah. So how much disruption does that cause?
I don't think a lot.
I was going to say with that too, they've changed a lot in the forward group with the penalty kill as well, and it hasn't disrupted too much. So, I mean, it's not like Broberg's going to play on the penalty kill, I would assume. But one thing I just hope doesn't happen tonight: could not play Nurse and CC together. But it just seems to be lining up so much in that way. But I like my idea still.
What's your idea?
Kulak and Nurse. And then you have your Broberg and CC as your third pairing, and you just play them when you can. Give them offensive zone and no D. Couple of neutral zone, whatever. Feel it out. But like we said it yesterday, the Dallas Stars third pairing isn't good either.
No.
Suter and Petrovic. So you should be okay if you can do that. And Kulak, I think, can allow Nurse to play to his strengths, which is skating. Nurse needs to skate. Yes. And I think once he can start skating and getting his confidence back, which he clearly just doesn't have right now, we'll see that physicality come back in a bit more in Nurse's game. Because we all know Nurse is a good player. 9.25, whatever. It doesn't matter.
We have to move past it. The deal is locked in.
Yes.
It's there. It's a constant.
We just need him to be good. Not even great. Just be good.
Be Daryl.
Player. Yeah.
Be Daryl.
Yeah,
gotta be Daryl.
I know you guys always say like, "Oh, be simple, Daryl." I actually disagree with that. Like, I don't think that's when his game is at his best. Like Darnell Nurse is at his best when he's pushing the pace out there, when he's jumping up in the rush, when he's sure about his decisions. Like part of the problem I had with Nurse last game was that there were way too many moments where he was doing the whole, like, the puck slowly coming to the blue line and it's maybe like a 50-50, 60-40 play. And he's taking the one step in and then he's like, nope. And he's back and then he's flat footed.
He's taking one step out and then one step in. And then turn it all about, right? That's what I.
Well, then he gets turned all about because Dallas comes
someone
back with
someone does in the hokey pokey.
Everyone's doing the hokey pokey.
But that's my problem with Nurse. Like again, yeah, sure. Would you like him to just go out there and not be noticeable and whatever? But that's not what makes him Darnell Nurse. What makes him Darnell Nurse is his ability to make plays, smart plays at the offensive blue line, decent defending off the rush, not moving the puck, transporting the puck with his feet. Like these are the things that I think he does well when his game's at his best. I think when he's trying to be a shutdown guy covering up for Cody Ceci mistakes, that's where he loses his game and his, his identity a little bit as a defenseman. So I agree with you 100%. Putting him with Brett Kulak tonight is the best thing to do. Kulak can be the guy covering up for Darnell Nurse's not mistakes, but risks that I want to see him take.
There it is.
It's funny because thinking about it, I want Nurse to have the confidence Ceci has going into the offensive zone sometimes.
Which he's always jumping up there, and it makes no sense because he's not good at it.
Not good at it, but I want
he does
Nurse. He does it anyway. And, we laugh that, like, he missed that open net against LA. I think it was game 1, game 2, whatever it was. Like, he had the 2-on-1 with Leon, but, like, he's there to make those plays, and I want Daryl to now do that.
Yeah. Like, think about the amount of times during the regular season that you'd see Darnell Nurse jump up in the rush on a penalty kill. Like, never mind 5-on-5. Like, he gets in the mix all the time, right? And again, you don't want to see him make dumb mistakes, but
if there's one thing we learned about that last game, which we are all very annoyed with, is that we stopped skating in the second.
Yep.
And obviously we're addressing some lineup changes to bring in some skating. So maybe this is let Daryl fly.
Yeah.
Find your wings, bud. Have a Red Bull.
All right. Couple more things to quickly get to here on the show. Dayton in with this one. Not sure this is what Vinny thought they meant by birthday bump. Yeah, happy birthday, Vinny. You're sitting
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough. But hey,
That's
it's
a
the
tough
business.
That's a tough one.
Corey Perry got scratched the day after his birthday.
Don't be born during the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Tough.
Be a February baby.
I love you, Vin. I love you, Vin, though.
All right, let's get into the forward decisions now. Hurton Albertan said Perry and McLeod in is questionable. Jay, what do you make about both those guys getting the returns to the lineup?
I'm just hoping that maybe Perry was like, and I know he's had a rough playoffs, and I know he hasn't been skating the entire playoffs, but maybe this Vancouver thing, maybe he was one that kind of fell down with a sickness as well, and him and Nobby had a good chat, and Perry's like got the fire in him, like telling Nobby like I've got it. And so maybe I'm being wishful, and I'm only going to be wishful, and from now until the end of our run. So Perry is feeling the fire. That is why he's in. Why is McLeod in? Because he brings speed. Because now he's learned an important lesson in terms of maybe thinking about the playoff side of the game, not going around and trying to take people's heads off, but just getting into the mix. And maybe he's really learned that lesson. That is something Nobby needs from him to be able to contribute, because we know one thing about Ryan McLeod. He fast. He bring that speed. And clearly this is the direction that Coach Knobloch wants to go, is obviously bringing more skating because maybe he thinks that was missing after the last couple games. So that is, that's my take. I'm going to say I love both moves because I'm no longer critical.
Should make for a good show.
Actually, all three moves.
Liam, are you going to be critical of either one of these two? And also on the flip side, because I'm surprised you're not critical of Sam Carrick coming out.
You know what? Maybe there's something we don't see about Sam. I love Sam, but to quote my friend to the right here, your left, Tyler, the upside of McLeod is much higher ceiling. So maybe we can get some offense from a guy that's got a little slap on the wrist, feeling a little shame, got a little guilt in him. So maybe we'll see a different version of Ryan McLeod tonight.
I wonder if Perry was brought in to be a bit of like a bench presence. When you're in those moments like they were in Game 3 where they're getting absolutely buried, maybe, I don't know, he says something. that can help the guys out. I know it's like a very minor thing, but like maybe that's what they're looking for from Perry, because I find it very interesting that they're bringing in the other two guys to add speed and then taking out Foegele and putting in Perry, who can barely move.
But let's call it, it's a factor move. Who can be a factor between Foegele and Perry? Perry can still be a factor, whatever it is. Like maybe our net front's been weak. Maybe we got to go make Ottinger's life hell. Like he can go and do that. The one thing I will say, because I'm staying as positive as I can, is it's been disappointing in this series versus like the Florida Rangers series. Like this is patty cake.
Yeah,
we're playing patty cake against each other. While like that is a legitimate war. Which the counter argument is like, great. Fight it out, beat the shit out of each other, and like, and then we'll find that style, if when we move on. So, Perry will bring a lot of those elements there, and maybe he can also drag the team into the fight. I'm not saying like physically fight, but just like it's like our controller has become unplugged in a few moments in that game, key moments for long stretches of time. And we did that in game 2 and we did that in game 3. And like, that's what the most frustrating thing about all this is like both those games easily could have gone the Oilers' way. And then sure, maybe game 2, maybe not as much, but game 3, most definitely. Yeah. And like, that's annoying. So that's why we also can't lose belief or hope in this team, because they've been in every game. They've been in every game. Yeah.
I think people have forgot about that.
I know.
Like that game 2.
So I'm drinking my cup of Kool-Aid over here.
People made it seem like game 2, the Oilers had no chance of being in there.
Yeah.
But they were right there until the end, until a mistake happened. And then Dallas capitalized. And Jake Onger played really well. I think his expected goals were like 3.5 or something like that. The Oilers had great chances in that game. I think one thing that's interesting, this is looking far ahead. How is Foegele going to get back in the lineup? And I know
if they win, he won't, and that's life.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting because like McLeod, after one game, found his way back in, and the easy move was there to make. And now,
but if they would have won, he wouldn't have.
Well,
I'm not.
Knobloch has shown he doesn't mess with winning lineups.
Yeah,
no,
100%.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.